Well, welcome everyone to our Monday night training and inspiration call. My name is Stephanie Abrams. I am a Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I am really excited for you guys to get to meet Chrystal. Chrystal Grady, she is an ambassador that is in Hawaii, and honestly, I kind of feel like she's one of the ones that was kind of started it all, was a very huge key player for our team because she's underneath one of my rock stars, Amy Paul. And once Chrystal, Amy had asked her to post, Chrystal started sharing, and it inspired Amy to really go all out. So anyway, I am excited for you guys to meet Chrystal tonight. Chrystal, I'll go ahead and unmute you and let you kind of introduce yourself to everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. Let's see. So I started about a year ago, and Amy had introduced me to the business originally in the parking lot of church. She stopped me and said she had this friend named Elizabeth that was in Alaska, and her friend Stephanie, and that they were making this great income from home. And I was a financial advisor at the time, and she wanted me to take a look at this opportunity, basically. And so I really wasn't open to it, and I brushed it off. But Amy is the kind of person you want to put in a box and study. She has 7 kids, like they're always perfect, And so I kind of was, I was interested, but I didn't want to be interested, kind of a thing. So I just kind of watched her. But fast forward, I had some major health issues come up. We had been trying to have a baby for about 4 years, and I had, when I was finally able to conceive, I had some really bad like depression issues, anxiety issues. And so that's when she reintroduced me into the products, and they were incredible, and they changed my life. And my husband was like, "You're a new person." I started having friends asking me, "Wow, you're different. What's going on?" And so that's where it kind of happened really organically. Even though I told her I didn't want anything to do with the business, she still kept encouraging me and almost pushing me in a way where she was, "Can you just do one post on Facebook? You've got an incredible testimony. I know you can do this." Like I have to give her that credit, is that she believed in me when I never believed in myself. And so a good lesson for all of us is that even when people tell you, that they're not that kind of person, or maybe they're not interested, when you build that belief in someone, it makes an impact in their life and how they feel about themselves. And so she did that with me. And because I shared on Facebook, it just started this momentum for me. And I started sharing, and it replaced my income working outside the home. So when my maternity leave was up, I didn't have to go back to work. And fast forward a year now, it's replaced my husband's income. We both work from home now. Basically, he had a couple of home-based businesses, and he had to step back and help me with Plexus and help me with the kids, because we now have a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old. So he's now at the beach, taking them to the beach right now while I do this. And so it's been an insane blessing for our family. We were praying so hard for something like this, but we never thought it would come from network marketing. But because I had that finance background, once I saw the income potential, I can't stop telling people. Like, I literally feel like this is the business model of the future. And there are so many people here in Hawaii. We live in the most expensive place in the world to live. I mean, next to Manhattan, right? Or San Francisco or Europe. But it's really, really expensive. And so most people here they're not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. They're living day to day. And sinking deeper in debt. And so what I've seen on my own team is that people have made replaced incomes. They've are paying their mortgages. They're retiring. It's insane, and it's an incredible blessing. So on top of that, I feel like this has kind of pushed me into being a whole different person. Who I was a year and a half ago is completely different than I am now. And I mean that in a really good way, in that I was a very, I would not be, I don't know what Amy saw in me, but looking back, I was a pretty insecure, pretty shy. I'm an introvert by nature. My ideal career would be like a librarian. So it's really pushed me and grown me to evolve myself into a lot of personal growth work. So something I'm really passionate about sharing, and I wanted to share with you guys today, is not feeling like you have to reinvent the wheel. We really do, if you stick with the basics and the tools that your upline is giving you, we have all the tools and the resources already that you need to be successful. I made that mistake, and I have reinvented the wheel 100 times, and I probably would be much further along if I had just stuck with sharing the basics of going out and sharing Plexus and messaging people a day. And that's what Amy has been telling me to do this whole time, but I'm like, there's more information there's got to be a better system. And I have come up with these great tools and resources that I'm going to share with you today. But when someone is successful, if you have a leader and you're watching, you have a mentor, or whether they're Plexus or not in Plexus, find one and do what they're telling you to do, right? Because it's the reason that they're successful. So don't feel like you need to know everything before you make a move in your business. Take action and then figure it out. And I think that is the first mistake that people really make, is that they think they need to know every single ingredient and why it works. You don't. You just need to share enthusiastically and take action, and the rest will come. So something that I've shared in our IPA group is a prospecting and follow-up system that I realized that for a lot of my team and for myself is that at some time when you're prospecting people, you lose them, right? They're falling through the cracks. They're not answering your messages. They want information, and then you don't hear anything from them. And so if you guys have read Eric Worre's GoPro, he talks about you need to go from engagement to engagement to engagement, and always set the next opportunity that you're going to be talking to them. And so I made this, and I posted it in the group, in the IPA group, that we have these great videos from corporate. We have there's some great Jill Warness, I think is her name, triplex video. We have these great videos. They're endless on YouTube about Plexus and what the products do and what the compensation plan does. And if you send that to a prospect that's asking for information, you need to say when you're going to follow up with them. Are mornings, afternoons, or evenings better for you? Is Tuesday or Wednesday better for you? Okay, great. I'm going to call you and see what kind of questions you had about that and what other information you need. And so just each time, and then when you call them again, you'll be like, okay, so I'm going to call you again and help you get started, right? You're going to keep setting up that engagement. Don't ever leave a message without asking them a question, so you're going to keep them engaged, and without setting that next appointment. Don't do it, because you'll lose them. It's like 99% of the time, there's only that top 1%, right, that just signs up, goes to your website and signs up. Those people are magical, and they're few and far between. So set that next engagement. We also have the tools that I use on a day-to-day basis are things that I try to be really redundant and duplicatable. So whether you're just starting out or whether you have a team, use the same tools that work and tell people about them over and over again, so they have it in their mind. Okay, we have that Google Drive link. I love to use Google Drive because you can share your files. You can make everything in files. You can have all the ingredients of Plexus Slim broken down, or you can have like all your prospecting documents. So keeping redundant with that. The files in our Facebook groups are incredible. The team page files, the welcome email, and then the success kit is the bomb. Like Plexus is giving us really high quality tools, and that's all the information that they need, that really they need to get started, plus you walking them through it. So the next part of that is like when you start going out and sharing, we all have like these objections, right? Or which really are excuses. And so for me personally was a time excuse. And this is probably the second most used objection that I hear from ambassadors. So, we say we don't have enough time. Like, I know a lot of you on today, you have children, you have small children, or maybe you have a full-time job, or maybe you have multiple full-time jobs. And we're busy, man. Life is busy. I feel like here in Hawaii, like, we never stop. There is never downtime. We have like every single sport when our kids, and it's just like, there's go, go, go. So there's a million reasons why you couldn't do it. If you wanted to come up with them, there's a million reasons. But if you stop making that excuse and think, you have 60 seconds, right? It literally takes 60 seconds to send out a message. That's it, right? So you're in the bathroom, right? You lock yourself in the bathroom for 3 minutes, or your kids are in the bath and you're talking to them. You can send 3 messages, or save 3 posts on Facebook and set your alarm to post them throughout the day. Like, that's all it takes. That's 6 minutes messaging, posting on Facebook total, right? Plus then maybe your follow-up before you go to bed. That's really not that much time. And I know that everyone can come up with that kind of time. So don't let that be an excuse, because this opportunity will change your life if you let it. So don't get bogged down by that time factor. Another main objection that I hear all the time is that I don't have enough friends, or I'm not getting any responses, or it's saturated. Or there's a lot of ambassadors here on Kauai, or I'm out of my warm market. And the thing that one of my friends and team members, Dana, came up with, she's like, all we have to do is go make friends. So this is relationship marketing. So if you feel like you're at that point, go up level your friends. Go find people that you admire. Make friends with them. Go join mommy and me groups. Go join the gym. Just go out there and start making friends. Go through your friends list on Facebook. And actually, Facebook has this great feature on the left sidebar where you can make a friends list of non-Plexus people, and then your Plexus ambassadors that you want to be commenting on that stuff. And then you can go through that, and you can message them every night and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I saw you just went on vacation. How was Jamaica? Right? Or whatever. You're just messaging people, and it doesn't have to be about Plexus, but make friends. That's all it takes. And that's fun, right? That's why, like, this business can be super fun. You go out and you get your hair cut, and you talk to somebody when you're getting your hair cut. You go and get your nails done. You go shopping. You talk to Amy and Eric are telling me all the time, they went and paid their Verizon bill and were like, met a bunch of guys that gave them great customer service. And they said, you guys, you're amazing. I want you on my team. Take this for sure. Oh, what's Plexus? Let me give you more information. What's your email? I'm going to send you more info. They're following up with them. They're signing them up. It's just like, it doesn't, again, that interaction can take less than 3 minutes. So make it a goal to message 3 people or hand out 3 brochures and get 3 emails. But again, always get their contact information, their numbers so you can text them, or their email so you can email them every time, or add them on right there. Like, add yourself on my Facebook. Are you on Facebook? Okay, type your name in. I'm going to friend request you. And it doesn't have to be awkward. You're just going to send them more information. So a lot of people have fear that comes up with that. And that's like, that for me, talking to people is terrifying. I was having lunch with an ambassador today, 2 of my ambassadors, and she was giving, one of the girls was giving an example of the difference between her and her sister. And she said that for her personally, she would talk to anybody, she sees them across the street, she's yelling and crossing the street to go talk to somebody. And her sister was the opposite. She would like walk the other way, to not have to. And that was me. And I was like, yeah, I relate to your sister, like I see people and I'm like, I'm really socially shy. Like, that's my nature. I can connect with people one-on-one. I'm great at trainings, but presenting isn't necessarily my strong suit, right? That comes naturally to me, but that's okay, because I have other things that, like you all do, have a quality that makes you incredible in this business. And that's what is so unique about this business, is that there's room for everyone. So the reason I say that is that when you start having that fear that there's something, that you feel like you're insecure about, or is that resistance. You all know that feeling, that resistance is coming up, that fear. It's an indicator that you're moving in the right direction. And I've read books on this and how to work through it. And I realized that that's exactly what it is. You're pushing yourself in the right direction. So the thing that feeds that fear is time. So for me, I would say, okay, I'm going to do my 3, 2, 1, right? I'm going to message my 3 people, follow up with 2. But then it took me 3 hours of like thinking about messaging those people, you know, to actually message them, when really it would have just taken a minute to message each person.
And I think, you know, you're saying that, Chrystal, and I think that goes back to, I don't know if you guys have seen like Alfred Hitchcock movies, and they're so full of suspense. I mean, just like the whole video, just like on pins and needles. And the thing was that, you know, he was the king of suspense, but it's not the bang that is what's so painful. It's the suspense, the waiting, and he's around the corner, and the music is building. And so just, if you're having, you know, that time, don't take the time, just go message them right then, you know. Quit delaying, quit waiting, stop thinking about it so much and saying, I'm going to, I will. And then your mind gets going, and they're like, what do I think? What do they think? What am I going to say? Just go do it then, you know. So that's really good. Okay, so go ahead. What are some tips, and I guess some tools do you have for when you're following up with people? And how many times, okay, so because people see you now, you're a senior Ruby. When did you first hear about Plexus? When did you finally join? And how many times would you say Amy followed up with you before you joined? And then how many times even afterwards did she follow up with you?
She was on me. Like, okay, so actually, you know what? When she wasn't fully committed to doing the business when she first shared with me, but there was an incentive. She told me there was like, you get an iPad, you win an iPad if you get 3 new ambassadors that month. And so she was the kind of person that those incentives drive her. And so I just happened to be at that time where she was like, oh, I need an iPad for my kid's Christmas present. So that's when she asked me, can you please just do a Facebook post? Like, I know, because I had this amazing testimony she wanted me to share. And she told me, I know you're going to be able to help so many people, just share. And so I couldn't say no. And then after that was when she started doing her 4-week training. And I think she saw the vision, and then she power partnered with me. And because she wasn't, I think she was silver, but she wasn't gold when I signed up. And she was like seeing the vision, and she saw me as somebody that was driven, and she's like, let's do this together. And so if you're in that boat and you have people that you can power partner with them and call them every day. You know, if they, you use your intuition, right? If they want it, power partner with them. And if you're a leader that has ambassadors already, power partner with the new ones you're trying to develop, and be like, okay, let's do this. Let's do a fun group. Let's do something new. Let's get you business started. Like, power partner with them. It's never too late to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how many times would you say total? Because I know people, they say, well, you know, I messaged them a couple times, I never heard back, or they saw my video, or they saw my message, but they didn't respond. You know,
I would say I have a no for now list. So along with my trackers, like in the files of our groups, there's the ambassador tracker, there's and for me, my team has 550 people, so I don't have everyone on there, but I have the ones that I'm developing and my business builders on there. And then I have my prospects list and my no for now list and my customer list. So the prospect list, those no for nows, if say I've messaged them twice and they haven't responded, they go on the no for now list. You can see on Facebook that they are not, that maybe they've seen it and they're not responding. Honestly, I get a better response if I'm texting or calling people than I do Facebook Messenger most of the time. And not everyone lives on Facebook like we do. So try that. And then put them on the no for now list, and then you message them completely not about Plexus. And if you see them out and about, you don't bring up Plexus, right? That next contact, like, you want them to think to know that you care, right? Because I know that everyone in this cares about people, and we just want to help people. So that no for now list is the people that in a month from now and be like, hey, I saw you moved. How's it going? Or I saw your daughter is going to school now. How do you like that school? So I think that is, you just have to keep building that relationship and giving them the information until they're ready.
And you know, I've had people do that too. And so when people say, oh, nobody's interested right now, you know, it's been a month, I'm like, girl, you need to think long term here. Okay, let's not think weeds. Let's think apple trees. Okay, those things take years to grow, and fertilizing and grooming, all of this stuff. You've got to put the time in. You've got to have the time. If you want something that's worthwhile, you have got to put the effort in. You are not an exception to the rule. There is a time for sowing and there is a time for reaping. And so this follow-up, that is your sowing, that is your watering, that is your cultivating. And that could be 2 months, it could be 2 years. And literally, I have people that it has been 2 years. And they're coming to me and, okay, you know, I'm ready to do this, you know.
Right.
So just when it comes to follow-up, you know, not expecting it to be an overnight thing.
Exactly. And you're going to have people that criticize you, right? There's going to be times where people are going to be like, oh, wow, you're like really into this plexus stuff. And somebody makes a sarcastic comment and it hurts your feelings, but you need to know that that's part of it. And that's the first cycle. And then after that, they start to admire what you're doing. And I've seen this throughout this year, and it takes time to get there. But then after that admire part comes the success. And so you just have to push through that. And there's always going to be those people. And that's because coming from a place where they're insecure, you know, or maybe they don't know enough. But that person that made that comment doesn't have that information or doesn't have that need. But guess what? In a year from now, he might go to the doctor and find out that he has diabetes, right? And who's he going to think of? So knowing that's a part of it. And you just have to kind of know that your greater purpose is to help people. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're doing this.
Yeah. So the files you talked about, you have the no for now.
Mm-hmm.
You also have a customer, and how often do you get back with your customers? What is your process for doing that?
Like, that's really important. And new ambassadors.
They order, they sign up, what do you do?
So the first 3, so it usually takes for here in Hawaii about 7 days for them to get their products. I'm sending out the customer email and the Candida die-off email. And I am calling them that first, like they should have received their products, say they order on the 7th. I'm calling them, I'm sending that email, and I'm calling them immediately after, and I'm saying, hey girl, I just sent you a document called Candida die-off and a document called the customer welcome letter. I want you to read it and like say they don't answer, read it and get back to me, because I need to help you adjust your routine for your body type. And in that document, it says, you know, some people need 1 BioCleanse and some people need 6 BioCleanse, you know, like everybody's different. Tara Castaneda has a great video about how to take your products and what to expect. And so I try and follow up with them that first, right when they get the products, and set them up for, you're going to take it consistently. You need to know that there is such a thing as detox, and that's an awesome thing. It's a example that the products are working for you, and that you need to drink water. And so then from there, I'm following up with them weekly. And then right before their auto ship goes out, maybe a week before their auto ship goes out, I'm saying, let me show you how to get the products cheaper. I don't want you to waste your money. And you can buy a welcome pack. It's at a deep discount. Then it's like Costco. You can get all your products at wholesale for the rest of the year. So new ambassadors, same thing. If they're starting on the products, you are responsible. If you're personally signing them up, it's your responsibility to make sure that they have a good experience. Because if you don't help them adjust their routine and they're having detox, then they're going to think it's the products, but really it's a sign that they needed to detox.
And I think a lot of times people are like, okay, yay, they signed up, you know, check them off the list and move on to the next person. And that could not be farther from the truth.
Yeah.
that is really when it starts. You know, it's
Yes.
like 5% getting them signed up, and then 95% helping them along the journey, seeing how they're doing. And they may not be a rock star in their first 3 months. They may not want to do the business then. It may be another 6 months. It may be another year. You never know. But still being their quote unquote consultant,
Mm-hmm.
even once they're an ambassador, is huge. So that's why I think it's great that you have those lists. And guys, I will have them uploaded into Diamonds if they're not. I don't think they're in Diamonds. I know they're in the IPA, but I will make sure they're in there and have those lists, because just because you sign someone up or just because they're a customer, do not mark them off and just move on. That is wrong, and you will lose them. You will lose them. So you've got to put the effort in. It is a commitment.
I think having a sense of urgency in your voice too when you're talking to them in your message, then I need to help you adjust your routine and speak confidently. When they're having detox symptoms, you're like, that's a part of the process. I'm going to resend you that Candida die-off letter since you didn't read it, because otherwise you'd know that that's exactly what's happening. And it's really important that you go through this process, because you've got some issues, obviously, because otherwise you're going to be taking the products. So we can work through them. And after that is when the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is really awesome. Do you have anything else? What would be one last thing? What would be your biggest tip?
I would say be obsessed with bettering yourself and your business, and find someone that inspires you. So whether it's somebody that's in Plexus or a leader in a different organization, somebody that is dreaming big and going for big things, and follow them and do what they're doing, and get inspired. I think that we can get in these funks in our business where we're like, it's not happening for me, but just get fired up. Like, this is incredible. This opportunity is amazing. Like, we all have the potential to be like, to change the future for our children and our children's children. I grew up, my dad went bankrupt 3 times. We were homeless. I know that I'm breaking that cycle of debt and poverty for my family and for my children. And every single one of you on here tonight has that gift, that we can, not only for our families, but for our friends and loved ones. So we just have to get fired up and do the basics and share, and then put in the effort and consistency over time. Look at stuff. It's just been incredible watching you. It's amazing.
It really is, and I tell people, it's like, I remember signing up, and I went in my back office, and my mom was my very first ambassador. So she signed up like 5 minutes after me. But I remember going in there and looking and being like, there's one person, just emerald will never happen, much less diamond or gold. That's just 20 total people. It's impossible. But it really is. And that's where that personal growth is so huge, because you have to be growing yourself. And even when you don't have that belief in you, believe in someone else's belief that you can do it, and be consistent, have those follow-up, have that organization, because that is what is going to pay off in the end. We all started with no one. And it was consistency, growing ourselves, following up, sharing with people. That there's no magical cure. There's no magic potion. There's no magic tip that's going to rocket you to diamond. None of us are diamonds when we join. We are diamonds in the rough. We are learning. We are growing. We are polishing. We are refining. And it's all part of the process. So.
I realized that, like, as important as the IPAs are, it's also important to get yourself in the morning inspired and in that right mindset. So that's as much of my job, to get myself in that mindset where I want to share with enthusiasm, as it is to do all the rest. Because if you're not, then you're not going to have those great training calls. You're not going to be operating on those all cylinders.
Yeah.
So MLM Nation podcast, man, those things get me so fired up. I audible books, like those books on tape. I was listening to that 10X book. It's all about being successful, and just, it's really just get yourself, find something that inspires you, listen to it for 30 minutes while you're doing the dishes and getting your kids ready in the morning, and go out there and share it and rock it. Because, I mean, you're going to be successful. You just have to, there's no magic bullet. You just got to go do, take action.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Chrystal, for being on here tonight. I am sure that people got inspired by you, because, you know, it took you a year to finally join, and then you did, and you were still not like this committed rock star. You're not really sure. But then you saw it and you decided, and now look, Senior Ruby, and your journey has not, it's been yours. You know, it wasn't an overnight thing. And that's encouraging to people too, because sometimes you see the overnight successes, even though they're really not overnight, because they had that whole lifetime that they were developing those relationships to get to that point. Okay. So, you know, but everybody's journey is their own. And so I really appreciate you sharing. And I know that people are going to get a lot from this as they watch it and review it. So I will put those files into Diamonds and bump them to the top in case they're not. And also I will put the MLM Nation thing on there too, so you guys can listen to those. Those are really great. Those are really great. And I actually got that from Chrystal. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening. And thank you again for joining us tonight. So let me unmute everyone. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.